Hey Atlantic Canada, welcome to the Game Code. I am your host, Adam Moros, and we have a special episode for you. We are on location at Hal-Con 2014, a 3-day event that happens, well, pretty much every year now, showcasing everything from board games to video games, cosplay. Well, you might even see a couple of celebrities here. It's lots of good stuff. We have a lot of stuff to cover, so let's get started. Hey guys, I am here with a, I would say, pretty important person when it comes to Canadian culture. I'm here with Richard Cumley, and this is the original writer and artist for Captain Canuck. Am I correct in assuming this?
Yes, you are.
Well, that's good. That's a good start. We can roll with that. Now, this has been, you started this was 19, was this 75 or 76?
75. I started working on it in 74, late 74, and the first issue came out in 1975.
Fantastic. And where did the concept come from? Obviously, lots of people, the immediate comparison is Captain America.
Yep.
This is the Canadian version of. Is that where the majority of the inspiration came from, or was there something else that made you want to create this character?
Well, I think a lot of people see it as Canada's answer to Captain America. And this goes back to about 1971, 1972. I met a friend, Ron Leishman, in Winnipeg,
Yes.
and this is where it all began. And he was the guy who really put it into my head to do this. It wouldn't have been for Ron, I would never have done the comic book series and started it. And we would get together and talk about cartooning, illustration, etc. We had both attended advertising art at different times at Red River College. And we talked about what Ron would say, there should be a Canadian superhero.
Sure.
There should be a Canadian comic book series about a Canadian superhero. And it was just talk for a few years. And then, like I said, in about 1973, I started to think seriously about it. In 74, I started to work on it. It got a really good launch in 75. I really think our timing was very good. And interestingly, we were 10 years after the flag was introduced.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't like I was conscious of that when I first did it, but that's how it's turned out to be. So our 40th anniversary next year is also the 50th anniversary for the Canadian flag.
Oh, that's pretty good lining up there. That's fantastic.
It's like I planned it that way. I didn't, but it's kind of like I did.
Well, don't tell anybody, and then if they want to give you the credit, then by all means, just take the credit, right?
Yeah.
So this all gets a good launch. It all goes forward, and then it seemingly went away for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it made its comeback. What was it like with that lifespan? How did you guys get from there until now? Like, what was that like for you guys?
Well, the original series, and we did have some IDW books that collect the original series, all 15 issues. They're sold out, and we're happy with that, of course. But that original series really goes from 75 to late 1980. But there was a gap in between issues number 3 and 4. And it wasn't until 93 that I did Captain Canuck Reborn. I did 4 issues of that. Then in early 2004, I think it was, so it's been published sporadically over the years.
Yes.
29 issues now have been published since 1975. So it has been sporadic. But now we're back for good. I think we can confidently say that. And I wish the guy, Fatty Hakim, was here. I would just pull him into frame for a second. But we did the animated web series.
Right, yes. Yeah.
It's been very popular. we're screening it tomorrow, and it's done very well on the internet. It's done very well as a DVD. We've shown it. In fact, we've done school workshops with it, etc.
Excellent.
So it's doing very well, and then eventually it'll be on television too.
Oh, so that's the plan, is to eventually get this stuff back onto television.
Yes, eventually it'll be there.
Well, that's, geez, I didn't know any of this. Now I'm excited, because now you wouldn't know this, but outside of interviewing amazing people like yourself, I do live stream work and doing video games, playing games and stuff in front of a live audience quite frequently. And behind me, I have 3 very select posters that I have mounted, dry mounted. One of them is Kermit the Frog as Captain Smollett from Treasure Island. The middle one is my personal logo, and on the right is a dry mounted poster of Captain Canuck, because my fans have called me over the years, when I was in much better shape than I am now, thanks to doing too much video game playing, Captain Canuck. And so this is a very special honor for me to be able to interview you, of course, and I wish I had that here with me, but I don't, and I might have to get something else signed by you.
Lots of visuals.
There are lots.
Visuals here.
And I have to say, outside of the fact that he obviously does resemble Captain America quite a bit, I absolutely love the design of Captain Canuck. Now, he's seen a couple of different variations, obviously.
Yes.
How did that evolve, and what made you decide to do those changes when they happened?
Well, the original costume, I don't really have a, but so the original costume, yeah, it when we say it looks like Captain America, that kind of costume was de rigueur, I guess, for superheroes.
There were many, many others as well.
Yeah, and that was kind of the look, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The spandex, the boots, the gloves, the whole bit. And so they've all evolved over the years. The classic Captain Canuck, the one that was used on the postage stamp, was slightly different than the costume we started out with. Then this new costume it's got a little bit more of a lot of people say that reminds them of Iron Man or some other characters, a little
heavy armor.
Yeah, a little bit of armor, a little bit of a military look, etc. So yeah, the looks are kind of evolving, but still very identifiable as Captain Canuck.
Absolutely. So, being Captain Canuck, he is of course a representation of the country itself. Now, writing a superhero that obviously has to do all sorts of perhaps less than Canadian things every now and then, depending unless we're on an ice hockey rink. What was it like writing a Canadian superhero? What is a Canadian superhero? Obviously, this is your representation of it, but what was that process like for you, trying to come up with what a Canadian superhero would be exactly?
Well, there was nothing really complicated about it, the process, as far as I was concerned. I wanted quintessential Canadian. I wanted typical hero.
Right.
I didn't want an anti-hero. Mm-hmm. I didn't want a conflicted hero. I wanted somebody that I kind of felt represented Canada in the ways that I want to represent Canada.
Right.
I wanted a hero that was a good guy, just a straightforward kind of good guy, a little more polite.
Of course.
So if he had to beat you up, he apologized. Okay?
That's what I was looking for, was the I'm sorry I just had to kick your butt, but it happened anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it had to be done.
Of course.
But yeah, I think Superman was created in that kind of vein, a quintessential hero, a quintessential good guy, self-sacrificing kind of a character, and that's the kind of character I had in mind for Captain Canuck, and we've stuck with that, and I think it works. I mean, it's part of mythology. These superhero is a modern mythology, and I think the original Superman is really the origin of the genre. It really is. Created by an American and a Canadian. So I think we kind of have to carry the tradition forward in that sense.
Excellent. Now, we were talking just before we started this about things moving forward, and you've got some other plans, of course, like you said, going to TV and such. But where are your plans to take this now that you're back, kind of more in full force? Where are your plans? What are your plans in terms of the franchise and the character?
Well, lots is happening next year, the 40th anniversary.
Okay.
First of all, Captain Canuck has been selected for Free Comic Book Day.
Oh, nice.
May 2nd, 2015. Many people might not be aware of this, but it is a big deal to be selected for Free Comic Book Day. A lot of companies want to have their comics as part of that program.
Sure.
And so we're grateful that we were selected. So Captain Canuck will be all over North America and in Europe for Free Comic Book Day.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So, and then right after that Free Comic Book Day edition comes out, the new Captain Canuck series begins. In the middle of May. It'll be a monthly, and there will also be another summer special. This was the summer special that came out in June of this year.
Excellent.
It was all across Canada, and well, we're going to do that again. And then at the end, by Christmas next year, there will be a graphic novel.
Wow, so you do really have a lot coming down the pipeline, and that's very exciting. That must be very exciting for you, having been behind this project for so long.
Kalman Andrzejowski is illustrating the 6-issue, the new 6-issue first series. There's other stuff in the works. There has been a feature film in the works for 3 years now.
Oh, really? That was going to be my next question. Is, with all of these, I mean, there are literally like 30 superhero movies in the pipeline until 2020, and I was going to say, has this character come to pass?
One of them hopefully will be coming out of Canada.
Well, this has been amazing to get a chance to interview, sir. Really appreciate your time. Now, I do have to give you, like everybody else, an opportunity to let the folks at home know that if they want to keep up with you personally, or just Captain Canuck in general, or both, where they might be able to do that, if you're on Facebook or Twitter or anything like that, or if there's a group that they can follow just to keep up with all this, because obviously the next year is going to be pretty busy, so you'll want to be keeping tabs on top of that stuff.
Well, Captain Canuck, there's Twitter, there's Facebook. Those are the places to be and to find out what's happening next, when. Those, of course, I'm happy to hear from anybody, from fans. My email, my personal email that my wife and I get is Cumleys, so that's Cumley with an S at live.com. Okay. And I'm happy to communicate with anybody. I'm a little old-fashioned. I'm getting up there.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I know, and so I'm not as quick with all of the social media as everybody else is maybe, but I'm good with email.
Hey. And
Facebook. I'm getting better with Facebook too.
Good. Well, I know lots of people are probably going to be very interested to maybe shoot you a message. And again, I really appreciate it, Richard. It's been fantastic talking with you. And we'll see you guys soon.